Here with 57-kilogram Olympian Spencer Lee. Spencer, there's been so much discussion about you coming into the Olympic trials and making the team. I want to go back to 2023. Obviously, there was a health obstacle for you to overcome in March and April at that time. But how much of that, combined with a mental obstacle, did you have to get to where you were on the top of USA?
No, absolutely. Very tough times, and you got to figure it out. You got to go within yourself. I had to take some time to myself. I left the country. I went to Japan, tried to stay away from United States in general, wrestling, everyone, people I know, just trying to get away, find myself, find what I want to do, what I want to be, and see if it was for me to keep competing or find something else in life. It was tough. It was tough for me at that time. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Kept getting hurt. Couldn't keep healthy. Couldn't and obviously I didn't have success at my last tournament either, and then I forfeited out of the next tournament after that as well. So it was difficult, but things happen, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that I was able to figure out the path in life that I wanted to choose to continue to pursue.
Yeah. So you were considering these two things. What made you go back? No, I want to continue. I want to be wrestling.
I just think I wanted to see my limit. Everyone always has told me that I could wrestle with anyone in the world, and it's easier said than done. I've never done that. I've never been on that stage. I haven't competed at that level since I was 17 years old, and that wasn't even close to the senior level. So I really just wanted to wrestle the best guys, and I wanted to kind of see where I was, see where I could be. And
Yeah.
So for me, it was are you gonna live your life not knowing what your potential could be? So, you ever heard that?
Yeah.
You wanna reach your potential. I wanted to see where I am. So.
Do you feel like you're still pushing your own limits right now?
Absolutely. I want to wrestle every single guy in that bracket that is a favorite. If someone says they could win, I want to wrestle them. And now I'm only gonna be able to wrestle 5 at the most, but I'll wrestle any of them anytime, anywhere. Just because for me it's I want to wrestle the best guys and I want to compete against the best guys. So like I said, whatever. If there's a tougher draw, give it to me. I want to wrestle all of them. So.
Stevan, Stevan is the reigning world champion. He's an American. Yep. Have you ever trained with Stevan?
I was on 3 junior and cadet world teams with him, so I know him pretty well. But he was always bigger than me, so we never competed. We've never been in the same weight class even once. In college, he was a weight class above me. So, but yeah, I knew he was good. He's always been really good. But he had an awesome tournament last year, and even being an American wrestler for another country, I think that's great. More competition's better. It's the world championships.
Yeah.
You want to wrestle the best guys in the world, so bring them all.
That's awesome. So when everyone talks about your wrestling, it's the points you're able to score, particularly from the top position. Now that your folk style career is behind you, how much additional time have you been able to place into that parterre offense, and how have you seen that develop over this last year or so?
Well, the thing about wrestling is that freestyle and folk style for me is the same thing. I wrestle the positions the same. It's just that the outcome of what I'm going for is different. Whether I'm pulling the arm back into a bar for folk style and trying to tilt the guy, or I'm locking a wrist and just rolling in freestyle. It's the same thing for me. To me, it's about how do you score the points and how you're going to get there. It's for me. The Tom always tells me, wrestling's wrestling. Just wrestle. It's just wrestle. That's what he always says to me. So I'm like, you're right. Just go out there and do what you do. And obviously freestyle you don't expose and whatnot. But I never did that in folk style anyways. So to me, it was the same style, just different rules.
So, looking back at the last chance qualifier, you pretty much chewed through everyone. You had a really competitive match against one guy, China. As you look back at that match, what was it that made that a little more competitive than some of your other bouts?
Oh well, he scored 2 big moves early, so he was out to a really big lead. I think it was more or less me not being ready, me underestimating the guy, going out there thinking I would just get on top, kind of turn him. Which I did. I scored 10 points basically in one exchange. But then, for me it was, I don't know if a word would be shell shock maybe. I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because weird match, weird thing for me. And the guy wrestled a smart match. He was very tactical.
Yeah.
He only exploded 4 times and he scored 9 points. So hats off to him. That's how you beat someone. In that style. That's his style of wrestling. That's how that guy wrestles. So it was a good learning experience for me. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is that a good wake up call? Not even wake up call because you won the match, but just you got to be aware.
Be more ready to go. I was winning 10-6 with 15 seconds left, and I think he pushed me out once and took me down.
Mm-hmm.
And none of those were things that I couldn't have prevented. It was just wrestle, circle, move your hands, feet, and just wrestle like you were doing to get the lead, you know. And those are things that you got to do to, you know, win matches.
The freestyle season, the cadence of that. How do you like that? That's an adjustment from collegiate, where you know Friday, Sunday, and then weekends and longer days. It's more sporadic. Do you like that?
I think I'm mixed on it. I definitely don't like competing every week in the college season for like 5 months. I think that's just probably too hard on your body, especially as a guy. You know, I personally don't think men should really realistically weigh 125 pounds anymore at this time of the day and age. I think it's really hard for people to make that weight, and you're going to see that over the next 4, 5, 6 years. How many guys wrestle 1 year at 25 and then they move up? It's just really hard to keep that weight down. And that's why you see 125 in college be so sporadic and crazy, is because people are pretty much just cutting weight and then they got to compete at the highest level, right? So I think that I would prefer to weigh in a little bit more than I do now, but definitely not as much as in college.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing you, this is your career. You want to be in wrestling for the foreseeable future. How have you modified your training in any way to more ensure longevity?
Absolutely. I mean, Tom and Terry, you know, they said you're not a young buck anymore. You know, you're not a college 18-year-old freshman. You know, we got to be smart. We have to train properly to keep your body healthy. You've had issues in the past, things you couldn't control, and we're going to control what we can control, and that's health, well-being, mental well-being, physical well-being, everything together. And we're going to have, you know, I have my own schedule. I'm way different than all the other guys. You know, the Hot Crest Club is definitely going to be on a different schedule than the college guys, just because we're older guys. We're in a different position. We compete less. For us, it's more about improvement all the time rather than just like kind of the grind, keep your weight down, get tough, you know, go out there, you know, every week, go compete against the best guys in the country. So.
You're a 3-time age-level world champion, but on the senior level, you're still a little bit of an unknown to the entire international field. Do you think that's going to be an advantage for you at the Olympics?
Well, I don't think so, because all those guys have been around for a while. So some of those guys have competed in brackets that I've been in when I was in junior and cadets, and then, you know, 4 of the other guys are Americans, you know, so that's like 7 guys right there that definitely know me. And then Russians, they definitely knew who I was. I've heard from a lot of them. They wanted to see me wrestle Yugoyev, and then, you know, and a lot of those guys, they probably watched, you know, the Last Chance, and, you know, my name is somewhat out there just from college and, you know, media and whatnot. So they know of me. I don't think I'm like super well known, some of those guys, just like my wrestling skills and whatever, but I think they know of me. So I think that they'll probably just, you know, bracket comes out, they'll be ready. So.
Yeah, I think you're going to have the respect. I think any American's going to have respect. And plus, the things you talked about, what you've done at age level, what you did at NCAA, I don't think you're not going to be unknown to them. But I mean, in terms of your style, I think it may be one of the most unreplicable styles and feels that anyone's going to experience in the Olympic Games. And that's kind of more what I was referring to. What you do from the top position is really, really rare. I don't think you see it really at any weight class in wrestling.
I mean, the higher level you go, you see it in folk style as well. Guys, less emphasis of riding on top, more just like hard focusing on takedowns and whatnot. So for me, I go hard for a turn just like I do for a takedown. It's the same thing. It's the wrestling's the same. It's just the effort you put into the positions that you want to put the effort into, right? So I think that's where I emphasize more than maybe some other people do.
Yeah, in your senior year, a lot of people were talking about potential matchup between you and Roman Bravo Young. You guys were kind of the 2 top wrestlers in the country, or 1 weight class apart. Of course, y'all were different weights. Then now you're the same weight. What are your thoughts on potentially facing Roman Bravo Young at the Olympics?
I mean, if he's the next guy, that'd be awesome. I mean, like I said, I want to wrestle the best guys in the world. And we're both not seeded, so we probably won't see each other first round. I mean, actually, it's impossible, right? But second round's a possibility, or even third, fourth, whatever, right? So it'd be awesome to wrestle a guy that I know has been at that level for a long time, and I know he would love to wrestle me. And well, obviously, we prefer to wrestle each other in the finals more as Americans. You know, I know he competes for Mexico, but you know, he understands that we're all Americans, and we want to represent both country you represent and the country that you live in. So
you had mentioned Yugoyev. Russia's not going to be there. What were your thoughts when you heard that?
I was pretty upset, to be honest. Not that it's not like I'm saying like, oh, if I win, that people will take it away from me. I don't really care about that. For me, it's that you take away an opponent that has been the man at my weight class for years. That's the one guy I want to wrestle more than anyone, you know. And then you just take him out of the bracket, you know. So I mean, I definitely can say that if I win the Olympics, I will wrestle him before 2024 is out if they want to wrestle me.
Yeah.
And I will wrestle him whenever he wants at whatever weight he wants.
So you really want that match? You want to face him?
If he wants to wrestle me, I win the Olympics, then I will wrestle him. And that's just like an honor thing, you know, like he's the man. You know, I know he took 5th last year, so he got beat by Stevan and then he got beat by Apokarov. But I mean, those are 2 world champs now. Obviously, he didn't lose to anyone who wasn't, you know, that couldn't beat him, right? He lost very, very close matches. Last second takedown, I think, against Stevan, and then Apokarov was pretty much a 5-4 match, I think, or something like a 6-5 match, right?
Super close.
So he's right there. You know, he's been the guy. So he might not have been the favorite this year, but taking a guy out of the bracket like that is, to me, it's a disservice to, you know, being an Olympic champ or striving for that.
Yeah.
You know, I want the best guy in the bracket, and whether that's me or not, I still want the best guy in the bracket. So, you know, if I do win, I can promise you, I will. I've already even had Russians reach out to me. You know?
Really?
Oh yeah. I said I will wrestle him 100%. If I'm the Olympic champ, I will wrestle him after.
That's great. Wow. I think we would all love to see that match for sure.
I mean, he's the man.
Yeah, and I know you're a huge fan of just the sport, watching the sport. Are there any, maybe take it outside your weight class, but any guys outside of America that you just really enjoy watching? You think their style's sick or whatever?
I mean, there's a lot of guys. I mean, everyone's like my whole team's favorite wrestler is Musakayev, just because of how explosive he is, and then his antics and stuff that happen. You know, like throwing the brick or pulling his sock up or getting hurt, and then right after he gets hurt, he walks the middle and he blasts the guy for 4. You know, just stuff like that. Like he's like more of like fun. He's just so like every time you watch him, you know it's gonna be fun. Even if the match is close, it's always gonna be like. His burst is just so like unreplicable, and I think that's really awesome. But there's like so many other wrestlers that, you know, I could name. I mean, my one of my, he's not going to be in the Olympics though. I wish he could have been, but the guy who's Olympian for Japan at 65 is going to be really tough too. Yeah. You know, obviously Takto, I love his style, the way he wrestled, and I mean that weight class is just amazing with Aliyev and Takto, and you know obviously, you know Musakayev and. Gosh, there's so many guys in that bracket.
It's loaded.
You know?
Almazad.
Yeah, Almazad, yeah, and then the Mongolian. You got Zane's world champ, and then, you know, I mean, that's a cool bracket. So yeah, as a fan of the sport, I can't wait to watch it. You know,
I was gonna ask, are you gonna be able to watch some of these?
I mean, I'm the first day, so yeah, I will be able to watch it. I mean, I don't know if Zane's second day or 65 is second day. Are they? Yeah. So I mean, if I obviously make it to the second day and I'm in the finals or in the bronze medal match, then obviously I'll be focusing on that, but I'll still be able to watch wrestling. I'm obviously going to support my Team USA teammates.
Awesome. All right, I got one last question for you. I'm asking all the Olympians this. It's about coaching youth wrestling. It's kind of 2 parts, but what do you view as the essential skills to teach a first-year wrestler? And what are some of the mistakes you feel that youth coaches fall into for young wrestlers?
I think like your first couple of years of wrestling, you should only learn basics. There should be no fancy moves or fancy whatever. Like the most important thing for me when I was a little kid was just my dad was so enamored with just your stance, and then like the 3 basic shots, like high crotch, single, like take down, double leg, and like a snap down. That was it. I didn't really do anything else. Learning how to hand fight, I think, is super important. I had to go to different clubs and stuff to learn how to hand fight because I was more of an outside wrestler when I was a little kid. So I think learning how to hand fight, your stance, and the basics, that's all you really need. I mean, anything else other than that, you know, just I guess depends on the guy.
You're saying you didn't start off learning the roll through tilt? When did that come?
I started hitting that when I was like 8. I don't really remember how it even became to be. I think I just saw something. Maybe my dad might have had a DVD film that he looked up, and then we obviously went to other clinics and camps where people were teaching similar things, and kind of just made it my own. And now it's like a staple in folk style wrestling, right? Everyone knows how to hit a tilt. But yeah, that was like my dad focused a lot my first 2 years just on like neutral stance, and then my next 6, 7 years he coached me was just top bottom. He never coached me neutral because he said every time you're going to go to practice, they're going to coach just neutral. So we're going to teach you top and bottom. So that was what I did. Not to say that every dad and coach in the country should do that or they're going to end up like me or whatever, but I just had a knack for top and I had a knack for, you know, not getting ridden out and I had a good feel. I think like my hips and whatnot. So with my background, judo background, whatever. So I think that was what we did. We learned that we did that so that because we knew that in high school, everyone's going to be good on their feet. But if you're good on top and bottom, you could, you know, maybe distance yourself. Yeah. So same with college.
But last thing, just how much enjoyment are you finding in this process of making the Olympic team? Now you're on the Olympic team, going to the Olympics.
I mean, it's there's a lot of stuff to do, you know, and I think it's somewhat tedious just because, like, for me, I just train. I just want to train. I just want to focus on, you know, but I know it's important. I know it's something we have to do, and it's part of the process. But I mean, I've really enjoyed it. Just, it's been nice, like, I guess everyone talking about it for so long to, like, I guess be the guy in America. So, I mean, I guess finally after 20 years, you could say that I am for a tiny minuscule amount, you know.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, really appreciate your time, Spencer. Do you have anything else before we let you go?
Nope. I'm excited to be in Paris.
Thanks, Spencer.
Yep.